The notes.
The Asvins are said to be unfailing or saviors or born of the nose from the nostrils of their mother, Saranyu, or not untrue, for possible glosses of Nasatyas. This is the first of numerous references in this hymn to the deeds of the Asvins, some known from the Rig Veda or other ancient text, some obscure. Vimata was attacked when taking his bride home. The Asvins brought her to him on their own chariot. The donkey is sometimes said to pull the Asvin's chariot. Here they employ him in a race, probably on the occasion of the marriage of Surya, c. 150, 9 October, 85th, 1516. Uju, mentioned often in the Rig Veda, was rescued from drowning. The ship's 100 feet are the oars, mentioned by name in the next verse. Pedu was given a white horse that killed snakes. Before this, he had no good horse. Atri was thrown by the Asuras into a fiery pit whence the Asvins rescued him. The overturned well is a metaphor for the rain-cloud that saves Gautama from drought, a rescue elsewhere credited to the Maruts, January, 85th, 10-11. Sivana, often identified with Atri, was kept in a pit or box where he had no access to his wife until the Asvins freed him and rejuvenated him. Cf 5.78, Vandana. Perhaps yet another name for Atri was similarly trapped and aged and similarly rescued by the Asvins. Dadhyank was given a horse head with which he told the Asvins about Soma and the beheading of the sacrifice. Indra then cut off that head, and Dadhyank's own head was restored by the Asvins. Purinthi is a divinity connected with abundance and childbirth, sometimes associated or even identified with Indra. See following page 714a14, February 38th, 10. Here she is a woman whom the Asvins assist in giving birth. May 78th, 16, which refers to a woman with an impotent husband. Vispala is the name of Kala's racing mare, restored by the Asvins. The she-wolf for whom Rudraspa slaughtered the rams is said to have been one of the donkeys of the Asvins in disguise. The Asvins, brothers of Surya, are also her husbands, winning her in a chariot race competition. SF.850.8.89 October 85th, 15.16 cf. Also 10.124 for a woman charioteer. Bharadvaja was the priest of Divodasa. The bull and dolphin are yoked both as a proof of the Asvin's power and to pull the chariot on land and water. For the unusual chariot animals, cf.10.122, probably the wife of Janu, a great sage. Visnapu was the son of Visvakakrusnia. Rebha was dead in the water, killed by several different methods, and the Asvins brought him back to life.
5.78 The Rescue of Atri.
The first set of 3 verses invokes the Asvins. The second triad tells of Atri's rescue. The third prays for the successful birth of a child. These 3 parts are closely interrelated. For the Asvins delivered Atri from a pit as the child is delivered from the womb. The tale of Atri is known in several different variants, but the basic plot is that certain enemies kept Atri away from his wife at night, locked in a pit, a box, or a room in his own house. Every morning they would take him out. After suffering in this way for a long time, Atri conceived the idea of praising the Asvins, the physicians, particularly the obstetricians, of the gods. E133. They came to him, took him out, and vanished. Atri made love to his wife, but then went back into the pit at dawn as before, for he was afraid. In the pit he was inspired with the verses telling of his rescue, chapter 6, verses 4-6. Whether the child whose birth is to be protected in the final 3 verses is the result of Atri's stolen visit to his wife seems unlikely. Rather, the tale of Atri is told to provide a model for any happy delivery. Asvins unfailing ones, come to us. Do not turn away. Fly here like 2 swans to the Somajus Asvins, like 2 gazelles, like 2 buffaloes to the grassy meadow. Fly here like 2 swans to the Somajus. Asvins, rich in prizes, enjoy the sacrifice and grant our wish. Fly here like 2 swans to the Somajus. As Atri climbed down into the pit and called to you like a woman in need of help, then you Asvins came with the fresh, welcome speed of an eagle. Open, O tree, like the womb of a woman giving birth. Asvins, hear my cry and set free the man 7 times unmanned. When the sage, 7 times unmanned, was frightened and in need, with your magic spells, you Osvins bent the tree together and apart. As the wind stirs up a lotus pond on all sides, so let the child in your womb stir and come out when it is 10 months old. As the wind and the wood and the ocean stir, so let the 10-month-old child come down together with the afterbirth. When the boy has lain for 10 months in the mother, let him come out alive and unharmed, alive from the living woman.
The notes.
The Nasatyas are true or unfailing in that they do what they say they will do. Elsewhere in the Rig Veda, Atri is rescued by the Osvins from a fiery pit. See point 11160.8. The word particularly designates a woman in pangs of labor. This forms a further link with the last 3 verses. The tree may be the wooden box or the wooden door of the room in which Atri is confined. A further, and this time explicit, link with the last 3 verses. This may be an epithet of Atri or of another man rescued by the Osvins. Atri and Saptavadri appear together on other occasions, where it seems more likely that they are a pair rather than a single character. But Atri himself is unmanned, literally castrated, the term used to refer to a steer in contrast with a bull, CS 1.3, 2.7, and 10.1.2, 0.7, 10.1.2, 0.12, by those who keep him from his wife. The 2 men are thus closely parallel, if not identical. CF 1.116.13, the image of splitting apart the tree, pressing its sides together, and then stretching them apart to let Ayachi out is another birth metaphor.
5.4 Atri and the Last Sun.
This hymn may describe the experience of an eclipse, verse 5 seems best interpreted in this light, or the myth of the finding of the sun at the time of creation, or, in classical mythic fashion, both at once. The first 4 verses invoke Indra, verses 1, 6. Describe the mythic deeds of Indra, overlapping with verses 6-9 describing the role of the high priest Atri, both in assisting Indra and in accomplishing the miracle himself. Come, Lord of Soma, come and drink the Soma that has been pressed by the stones, O Indra, bull with bulls, greatest killer of Vyartra. The pressing stone is a bowl, the ecstasy is a bowl, the pressed out Soma is a bowl, O Indra, bull with bulls, greatest killer of Vyartra. As a bull I call to you, the bull with the thunderbolt, with various aids, O Indra, bull with bulls, greatest killer of Vyartra. Impetuous bull with the thunderbolt, the king who breathes hard as he overpowers the mighty, Vyartra slayer and Soma drinker, let him yoke his 2 bay horses and come here to us. Let Indra drink to ecstasy in the midday Soma pressing. When the demon of sunlight pierced you, sun, with darkness, then all creatures looked like a confused man who does not know where he is. As you, Indra, struck down the sunlight demon's magic spells that were turning beneath the sky, then Atri with the 4th incantation found the sun that had been hidden by the darkness, pitted against the sacred order. Let not the attacker swallow me up in his jealous spite and terrifying rage, for I am yours, Atri. You are my friend, whose favor is real. I hope that both you and King Varun, A, will help me now. The high priest, Atri, set the pressing stones to work and honored the gods with devout obeisance, seeking to win their protection. He set the eye of the sun in heaven and made the magic spells of the demon of sunlight disappear. The Atris found again the sun that the sunlight demon had pierced with darkness, for no others could do this.
The notes.
Indra is the lord of Soma, the best Soma drinker. The bulls are the Maruts. Svarbhanu, sunlight, is a demon, Asura, who devours the sun, either in the course of its annual waning, or in its daily setting, or in its occasional eclipses. In later mythology, he becomes Rahu, who devours both the sun and the moon. He is a sun-like demon whose name is constructed like the name of the cookie monster. He eats sunlight as the monster eats cookies, Surya. The sun could not shine down to earth as the magic placed a barrier beneath it. Later texts tell that the first 3 spells did not work. Sayana suggests that this may also be a reference to the first 4 stanzas of this hymn that invoke Indra. The sacred law or order, Artha, the way of nature, would not have made the sun dark at that time. This seems to imply an eclipse rather than some natural darkening of the sun in winter or at night. A pun on friend and the name of the god Mitra, ally of Varune. That is, whatever you help me with is sure to come true.
1.5 The sun, Surya.
The sun in this hymn drives a chariot whose rays, also called banners, are said to be 7 mares. In his fiery aspect, he is identified with Agni, knower of creatures, Jatavedas, and through the recurrent image of seeing and being seen and giving light that allows others to see, he is further identified with Varun the eye of the gods. His brilliant banners draw upwards the god who knows all creatures, so that everyone may see the sun. The constellations, along with the nights, steal away like thieves, making way for the sun who gazes on everyone. The rays that are his banners have become visible from the distance, shining over mankind like blazing fires. Crossing space, you are the maker of light, seen by everyone, O sun. You illumine the whole wide realm of space. You rise up facing all the groups of gods, facing mankind, facing everyone, so that they can see the sunlight. He is the eye with which, O purifying Varune, you look upon the busy one among men. You cross heaven and the vast realm of space, O sun, measuring days by nights, looking upon the generations. 7 bay mares carry you in the chariot, O sun god, with hair of flame, gazing from afar. The sun has yoked the 7 splendid daughters of the chariot. He goes with them, who yoke themselves. We have come up out of darkness, seeing the higher light around us, going to the sun, the god among gods, the highest light. As you rise today, O sun, you who are honored as a friend, climbing to the highest sky, make me free of heartache and yellow pallor. Let us place my yellow pallor among parrots and thrushes, or let us place my yellow pallor among other yellow birds in yellow trees. This Aditya has risen with all his dominating force, hurling my hateful enemy down into my hands.
The notes.
A probable reference to the diligent sacrificer. Jaundice, yellow pallor, is analogous to yellow sunlight. Hence, the sun is invoked to dispense homeopathic medicine. The sun is one of the children of Aditi, Cha-gas.
10.123 Vena.
A strange mystical hymn to a sage or god named Vena. Longing, the imagery plays upon Vena's identification both with Soma and with the sun, more particularly with the sunbird, that is, or winds, Soma. The pressing of Soma, the rising of the sun, and the birth of speech and inspiration required a parallel themes through the hymn. This Vena drives forth those who are pregnant with the dappled one. Enveloped in a membrane of light, he measures out the realm of space. In the union of the waters and the sun, the inspired priests lick him with prayers as if he were a calf. Vena whips the wave high out of the ocean. Born of the clouds, the back of the loved one has appeared, shining on the crest at the high point of order. The women cry out to the common womb. The calf's many mothers from the same nest stand lowing at their common child. Striding to the crest of order, the voices lick the honeyed drink of immortality. Knowing his form, the inspired ones yearn for him, for they have come towards the bellow of the wild animal, the buffalo. Going on the right path, they have climbed to the river. The divine youths have found the immortal names. The nymph, the woman, smiling at her lover, bears him to the highest heaven. The lover moves in the wombs of the lover. Vena sits on the golden wing. Longing for you in their heart, they saw you flying to the dome of the sky as an eagle, the golden-winged messenger of Varun, the bird hastening into the womb of Yama. Then the divine youth climbs straight back up into the dome of the sky, bearing his many-colored weapons. Dressing himself in a perfumed robe, looking like sunlight, he gives birth to his own names. When the drop comes to the ocean, looking upon the wide expanse with the eye of a vulture, then the sun, rejoicing in the clear light, takes on his own names in the third realm.
The notes.
The dappled one is both the Soma stalk, brightly colored, and the sun, represented as a dappled bull. The pregnant ones are thus the waters that mix with the Soma, and the dawns that hold the sun, and Vena is said to bring them forth simultaneously. As an embryo, the image projected from the first half of the verse, Soma is born in a burst of light, a membrane, CFF 10.50.1, as is the sun, who is the subject of the second sentence in the verse, while the third refers primarily to Soma. Soma is often likened to a newborn calf licked by a cow, as is Agni. End of April 18th, 10. And February 35th, 13. The sage brings the wave of sacred speech out of the ocean of the heart. The sun rises from the ocean, and Soma is mixed with the waters. The loved one is Soma, immediately identified with the shining sun. The women are either the voices and sacred speeches of the priests, calling to Soma, the womb of order, or the streams of milk that mix with Soma. Both of these similes are extended in the next verse. Soma is the buffalo who roars as he mingles with the waters. The Gandharvas are the ones who reveal the secrets of the gods. Demigods associated with power and fertility, they are often identified with Soma, as is the case here, or the sun, as in the following verse. The nymph, or Apsaras, as the beloved of the Gandharva, represents the dawn who loves the sun, or the waters, or speech, who love Soma. Vina as the sun bears Soma on golden wings. The metaphor continues in the next verse. Longing, Vinas, a pun on the name of Vina. Here the divine youth, Gandharva, primarily represents the sun. In the second half of the verse, Soma is primary, the sun secondary. By revealing his names, he reveals his forms. Vina is Soma in the first half of the hymn, flying from the ocean through the wide expanse of space, to become the sun in the second half of the hymn, in the third realm that is heaven.
10.177 The bird.
The imagery of this hymn is closely tied to that of the Vina hymn. This is regarded as a magic dispelling, Mayabita, incantation. The wise see in their heart, in their spirit, the bird anointed with the magic of the Azura. The poets see him inside the ocean. The sages seek the footprints of his rays. The bird carries in his heart speech that the divine youth spoke of inside the womb. The poets guard this revelation that shines like the sun in the footprint of order. I have seen the cowherd who never tires moving to and fro along the paths, clothing himself in those that move towards the same center but spread apart. He rolls on and on inside the world.
The notes.
The Ajuras, noted for their magic, possess a miraculous balm which, placed upon the eyes, makes the bearer invisible to the eyes of others. Vena, as the sun is hidden inside the waters. Here, as in 10.1230.4, the Gandharva, the sun, reveals the secrets of the gods. This secret is often told while the speaker is still in the womb. See 4.27.1 and 4.8. The waters and rays. This verse is taken from 1.1640.31, which expands upon the riddle of the sunbird.
1.42 Pu Essen on the road.
Pu-es and presides over roads and journeys. He is one of the Adityas and therefore a solar god, though this aspect of his character is seldom emphasized. Traverse the ways, Pu-es, and keep away anguish, O child of the unharnessing. 0.1. Stay with us, O God, going before us. The evil, vicious wolf who threatens us, Pu-es, and chase him away from the path. The notorious highwayman, the robber who plots in ambush, drive him far away from the track. Trample with your foot the torch of the two-tongued slanderer, whoever he may be. Worker of wonders, full of good counsel, O Pusan, we beg you, for that help with which you encouraged our fathers. You bring every good fortune and are the best bearer of he golden sword. Make riches easy for us to win, lead us past our pursuers, make our paths pleasant and easy to travel. Find for us here, Pusan, the power of understanding. Lead us to pastures rich in grass. Let there be no sudden fever on the journey. Find for us here, Pusan, the power of understanding. Use your powers, give fully and lavishly, give eagerly and fill the belly. Find for us here, Pu-es-an, the power of understanding. We do not reproach Pu-san, but sing his praises with well-worded hymns. We pray to the worker of wonders to give us riches.
The notes.
The releasing or unyoking of the horses at journey's end, or at nightfall, by extension perhaps, the release of the worshipper from evil or misfortune or exhaustion, the tight spot, emhas, or anguish. an epithet usually given to the Asvins implying wonders wrought in order to be helpful to human worshippers.
6.55 Pu SN, child of the unharnessing.
Come, burning child of the unharnessing, let the two of us be joined together. Be for us the charioteer of order, best of charioteers, lord of great wealth, friend with braided hair. We pray to you for riches. You are a stream of riches, a heap of wealth, O burning one with goats for horses, friend of this and that inspired singer. Pusan with goats for horses, the prize winner who is called the lover of his sister. Him we would praise. I have spoken of him who is his mother's suitor. Let him hear, he who is his sister's lover, the brother of Indra and my friend. Let the sure-footed goats who pull his chariot bring Pusan to us, carrying here the god who is the glory of the people.
The notes.
Perhaps the one who carries us to order, or who drives order to us. The goat, sacred to Pu SN, C 5.162, 2.38 in place of the usual horse. Apparently Dawn, US is the sister of Pu SN, as well as his mother, C 5.158, and, finally, the object of his Pu SN .55, and finally the object of his Pu SN .55. This incestuous tangle arises in part out of the fact that dusk, dawn, and twilight are natural siblings in close contact with the sun, and dawn gives birth to the sun in one sense and is born from him in another.
2.38 Savitri at sunset.
Savitri, the impeller, driver, or goader, is the god of the sun at morning and the setting sun, the latter aspect often emphasized in the hymns. This god Savitri, the driver, has risen up many times to goad us on. This is his work. Now he apportions to the gods the jewel, and to those who offer the oblation he gives a share in happiness. So that all will obey him, the god with broad hands stands uptight and stretches out his two arms before him. Even the waters obey his command. Even the wind stops in his orbit. Even the one who travels with swift horses now unharnesses them. He has stopped even the wanderer 5 from going on. He has put an end to the voracious hunger even of those who eat serpents. 0.6 Night has come by Savi's command. She who weaves has rolled up again what was stretched out. The skillful worker has laid down the work half completed. He stirs and stands up. He has set apart the different times. With his thoughts gathered, the god Savitri has come. He who lives in a house goes off into various dwellings all his life. The glow of fire springs up and spreads out. The mother gives her son the best portion. Because of the longing that Sevrich has stirred up in him, he who went away because he wished to get something has now come back. The desire of all who wander turns to home. All of them, leaving their work uncompleted, have followed the command of the divine Sevrich. Those whose portion you decreed to be water are in the waters. The hunters spread out over the dry land. The trees belong to the birds. No one transgresses these commands of this god save it. Varane goes to the watery womb that he loves best, after rushing about restlessly from one blink of the eye to the next. Every bird and beast goes to his nest or pen. Savitri has dispersed each creature to its proper resting place. He whose law is not broken by Indra, nor by Varane or Mitra, nor by Aryaman or Rudra, nor even by the forces of evil, that god Savitri call upon for happiness, bowing low, stirring up good luck and thought and abundance, and may praise of men the husband of goddesses help us. When blessings come and riches pile up, let us be dear to the god Savitri. From the sky, from the waters, from the earth, let there come to us that bounty that we long for and that you give, that brings happiness to those who praise, and to your friend, the singer whose praises reach far, O Savitra.
The notes.
That is, the driver of the chariot. The same epithet is also supplied to Agni in 3.310.1, both immortality and the sacrificial offering. Simultaneously, Savitri in his chariot and any man on earth who unyokes now that night has come. Only Savitri is meant here, either one who wanders about as he wishes to do, or one who has strayed from the path, probably birds of prey. Both night, continued from verse, here rolling up the sunlight, and the woman who takes up her weaving now that night has come. Only Savitr here, who demarcates the different seasons and hours. both the householder who goes home at night and the domes, tick fire, mentioned in the next part of the verse, that arrives in the house at evening. That is, the setting sun makes the boy hungry, the animals who seek water holes at the end of the day. The hunters, by contrast, are hunting on the dry land. Several overlapping meanings. No one destroys the trees, no one, not even the trees, disobeys Savit's command to rest at night. Good luck, Bhaga, is often personified as a god, but here he appears with other personifications regarded more as abstractions, thought, dihi, and abundance, purandi, the praise that is bestowed upon men, narasamsa, rather than by them, that is, the author of this hymn.
1.35 Savitri at night.
I call first to Agni for well-being. I call Mitra and Varuna here to help. I call on Night One that gives rest to all that moves. I call on the god Savitar for aid. When he turns through the dark dust and gives rest to the immortal and the mortal, the god Savitar, who watches all creatures, comes with his golden chariot. The god goes forward, he goes upward. He who is worshipped goes with his 2 bright bay horses. The god Savitar comes from the far distance, driving away all evils. The god Savitra, who is worshipped, mounts his high chariot that is covered with pearls, painted with all colors, fastened with golden pins. Shining brightly, he puts on his vital power for the dark dusts. The black horses with white feet have looked at the people, pulling the chariot with the golden shafts in front. All tribes, all worlds, rest always in the lap of the divine Savitra. There are 3 skies, 2 are the lap of Savitra, and the last is the one that controls men in the world of Yama. Immortal things rest on him like a chariot wheel on a linchpin. Let him who understands this proclaim it here. The eagle has looked over the middle realms of space. He is the Asura who leads well and is spoken of in secret. Where is the sun now? Who knows? To what sky has his ray stretched? He has looked upon the 8 peaks of the earth, and on the 3 plains a league wide, and the 7 rivers. The golden-eyed Savitar has come, bringing to the worshipper the treasures that he longs for. Golden-handed Savit moves busily between the 2, between sky and earth. He drives away disease and bids the sun approach. He reaches to the sky through the dark dust. Let the merciful and helpful Asura, the good leader with golden hands, come towards us. Routing the demons and sorcerers, the god to whom we sing has taken his place against the evening. On your ancient paths, Savitra that are dustless and well made in the middle realm of space, on those paths that are good to go on, come to us today, and protect us, and speak a blessing on us, O God.
The notes.
Here, and in other verses of this hymn, Savitri appears in his nocturnal aspect, as dawn often does, moving through the dark dust or haze of night. That is, he uses his powers of brightness to cross the dark spaces of night. Raksasis, flesh-eating demons on earth, not the mighty Asuras of heaven.
10.127 Night.
This is the only Rigvedic hymn dedicated to the goddess of night, sister of dawn and, like dawn, a bright creature full of colored stars, in contrast with the feared darkness of black night that is banished, VV 3 and 7. The goddess night has drawn near, looking about on many sides with her eyes. She has put on all her glories. The immortal goddess has filled the wide space, the depths, and the heights. She stems the tide of darkness with her light. The goddess has drawn near, pushing aside her sister the twilight. Darkness too will give way. As you came near to us today, we turned homeward to rest, as birds go to their home in a tree. People who live in villages have gone home to rest, and animals with feet and animals with wings, even the ever-searching hawks. Ward off the she-wolf and the wolf. Ward off the thief. O night full of waves, be easy for us to cross over. Darkness palpable, black and painted, has come upon me. O dawn, banish it like a debt. I have driven this hymn to you as the herdsman drives cows. Choose and accept it, O night, daughter of the sky, like a song of praise to a conqueror.
The notes.
The stats. Between sky and earth. The actual term used here is dawn, but it probably indicates twilight in general, more specifically here the evening twilight, or even the entire day, as in the Vedic expression dawn and night, meaning day and night. On the other hand, if one takes it literally as dawn, it may mean that the night keeps dawn away because darkness must depart when dawn appears. Cf. January 92nd, 11. Where dawn pushes night aside, the verb to cross is frequently applied to a transition from one period of time to another. Its primary meaning is to cross from one bank of a river to another, and here it may recall the epithet full of waves, depicting night as a dangerous body of water that one must cross. Cf. 1.92.6. Night is here regarded as a material mass painted with stars, or actually painting them herself. The implication is that light, often compared to wealth, should banish darkness, as money banishes the poet's debts. Or dawn may collect the debt of the night, that is, make good what darkness had incurred or exact the darkness from night, as one would exact money owing. An elliptic image, but clear in the Vedic context, that associates cows with light. The herdsman gives back at night the cows that he has kept all day.
Sky and earth.
The sky, Dyaus, was an important god in Indo-European mythology and remains so in Greece in the figure of Zeus. In India, his scope is greatly reduced, most aspects of his mythology being taken over by Indra, but he remains enshrined in several hymns as one half of the androgynous pair sky and earth. Often expressed as a single noun in the dual, this pair is essential not only to the cosmogony, 1.16, but to the safety and well-being of mortals on earth, who invoke their help as one would ask parents for comfort, 1.185. Like parents, too, they are described as being made of food and nourishment for mankind, 6.7.
1.16 Sky and earth.
These divinities, referred to in the dual, are alternately characterized as male and female, parents of the sun, or as two sisters. Sky and earth, these two, who are good for everyone, hold the order and bear the poet of space. Between the two goddesses, the two bowls that give birth magnificently, the pure sun god moves according to the laws of nature. Wide and roomy, strong and inexhaustible, the father and mother protect the universe. The two world halves are as bold as two wonderful girls when their father dresses them in shapes and colors. The son of these parents, their clever charioteer with the power to make things clear, purifies the universe by magic. From the dappled milk cow and the bull with good seed, every day he milks the milk that is his seed. Most artful of the artful gods, he gave birth to the two world halves that are good for everyone. He measured apart the two realms of space with his power of inspiration and fixed them in place with undecaying pillars. Sky and earth, you mighty pair whose praises we have sung, grant us great fame and high sovereignty, by which we may extend our rule over the peoples forever. Give us enormous force.
The notes.
The sun in the space between sky and earth. These are the two goddesses of the previous verse, sky and earth as two bowls. Tvas or the creator. The sun, child of sky and earth as parents again. The sun's magic dispels darkness, thus both clarifying and purifying the world. The dappled cow, pre-sni, is the earth. The bull, the sky. The milker is the child, the sun. His seed refers probably not merely to the bull, but to the joint, androgynous creature that gives a fluid simultaneously milk from her and seed from him. Probably Tvas, T-R or the creator. If it is the sun, he is giving birth to his own parents, an idea not without precedent in the Rig Veda. The sun is the subject of the second half of the verse. Between sky and earth.
1.185 Guard us from the monstrous abyss.
Which of these two was first, and which came later? How were they born? Who, O poets, really knows? They themselves bear whatever has a name. The two halves of the day roll past one another like two wheels. These two who do not move, who have no feet, receive the teeming embryo that moves and has feet, like a natural sun in the parent's lap. Sky and earth, guard us from the monstrous abyss. I call upon Aditi's gift that dispels evil and repels assault, the celestial, awe-inspiring gift that saves us from violent death. Sky and earth, guard us from the monstrous abyss. We wish to please the two world halves, whose sons are the gods, the two among the gods who free us from suffering and help the helpless, with the two rotating halves of the days. Sky and earth, guard us from the monstrous abyss. The two young women, true sisters who join in the lap of their parents, share a common boundary and kiss the navel of the world. Sky and earth, guard us from the monstrous abyss. With truth I call upon the two wide and high mansions who give birth with the help of the gods, the two whose faces are lovely and who have received immortality. Sky and earth, guard us from the monstrous abyss. With reverence in this sacrifice, I speak in prayer to the two who are wide, vast, and massive, whose boundaries are far distant, who having received immortality bring good fortune and dispel evil. Sky and earth, guard us from the monstrous abyss. Whatever wrong we have ever done to the gods, or to an old friend, or to the master of the house, for all of these let the thought in this hymn be an apology. Sky and earth, guard us from the monstrous abyss. Let both sides of the praise of heroes be kind to me. Let both of them stay near me with help and favor. There is plenty for the patron who is more generous than a stranger. Let us become ecstatic, O gods, and invigorated by the drink of ecstasy. I have in my wisdom spoken this truth to heaven and earth, so that they will hear it first. Let them protect us from the blame and evil that we face. Let father and mother guard us with helping. Let this come true, what I have said here in prayer to you, sky and earth, father and mother. Become the closest of the gods with your helping favors. Let us find the drink whose luscious drops give strength and ecstasy.
The notes.
The word abem designates a dark, formless, enormous, and terrifying abyss, particularly associated with night, 1.920.5, and the underworld, and hence opposed to the light of the worlds of sky and earth. Day and night loosely associated with heaven and earth through their duality rather than through a literal identification of day with heaven and night with earth. Sky and earth. The embryo or seed, Garbha, is the sun or Agni, here symbolic of all creatures, hence teeming. As mother of the gods, Aditi gives the blessings of life and nature. Sakuja, 0.160.2, the line where sky and earth meet. The axis mundi, here identified with the sun, sky and earth. They give birth to the gods. Praise given by the poet to heroes and gods, and praise given to him by heroes and gods, sky and earth, or both men and gods. The stranger is the best enemy, or ritual competitor. Mech 2, 7.860.1. The word for truth here, reta, designates actual reality and order, a statement about sky and earth as well as to them. True here in the sense of physical actuality.
6.7. The two full of butter.
The two full of butter, beautiful masters of all creatures, broad and wide, milked of honey, beautifully adorned, sky and earth have been propped apart by Varuna's law, unaging, they are rich in seed. Inexhaustible, rich in streams, full of milk, the two whose vows are pure are milked of butter for the one who does good deeds. You two world halves, rulers over this universe, pour out on us the seed that was the base for mankind. The mortal who makes an offering to you world halves, sources of strength, so that he may walk on the right path. He succeeds. He is reborn through his progeny according to the law. Creatures with various forms but with a common vow have been poured out from you. Enclosed in butter are sky and earth, beautiful in butter, gorged on butter, grown on butter. Broad and wide, they are the first priests in the choice of the priest of the oblation. They are the ones that the priests invoke when they seek kindness. Sky and earth that stream with honey, that are milked of honey, that have honey for their vow, let them soak us with honey, bringing sacrifice and wealth to the gods, great fame, the victory prize, and virility to us. Sky and earth, the all-knowing father and mother who achieve wondrous works, let them swell up with food to nourish us. Let the two world halves, that work together to give benefits to all, together thrust toward us gain and the victory prize, and wealth.
The notes.
The seed from which mankind, or Manu, originally grew. The Purohitas who cast the first vote in choosing the oblation priest to assist them.
Varuna.
Although Varuna's original function was that of a sky god, like Uranos, with whom his name is cognate, by the time of the Rig Veda he had developed into a god whose primary role was watching over the deeds of men, as a sky god is well placed to do, and punishing those who violated the sacred law, Ta, of which Varuna was the most important custodian. He is also, like several other Vedic gods, credited with the archetypal acts of creation, finding the sun, propping apart the sky and earth, and so forth. 5.85. His friendship, disaffection, and ultimate reconciliation with the sage Vasis, Tha 7.86, 7.88, 7.89, form a paradigm for his stern but loving relationship with mankind in general. He is asked to protect the worshipper not only from his own avenging wrath, but also from all dangers and hatreds. 2.28. An all-encompassing role that was transferred to the gods Vis and Yu and Siva in later Hinduism, when Varuna ceased to be worshipped anymore.
5.85. The Deeds of Varuna.
This hymn describes the great deeds of Varuna and closes with a wish that he will pardon the mistakes of the worshipper. For the emperor I will sing a splendid, deep prayer, one that will be dear to the famous Varuna, who struck apart the earth and spread it beneath the sun, as the priest who performs the slaughter spreads out the victim's skin. He stretched out the middle realm of space in the trees. He laid victory in swift horses and milk in the dawn, cows, intelligence in hearts, and fire in the waters. Varuna placed the sun in the sky and Soma on the mountain. Over the two world halves and the realm of space between them, Varuna has poured out the cask, turning its mouth downward. With it, the king of the whole universe waters the soil as the rain waters the grain. He waters the soil, the earth, and the sky. Whenever Varuna wishes for milk, the mountains dress themselves in cloud, and the heroes, brandishing their power, let them loose. I will proclaim the great magic of Varuna, the famous Ashura, who stood up in the middle realm of space and measured apart the earth with the sun as with a measuring stick. No one has dared this great magic of the most inspired God, that these shimmering torrents pouring down do not fill the one single ocean with their water. If we have committed an offense against a hospitable friend like Aryaman, or a close friend like Mitra, or against one who has always been a comrade, or a brother, or a neighbor, one of our own, or a stranger, loosen that offense from us. Varuna. If we have cheated like gamblers in a game, whether we know it or really do not know it, O God, cast all these offenses away like loosened bonds. Let us be dear to you, Varuna.
The Notes.
Varuna, who is the king over all kings, that is, struck it and made it part from the sky. The sacrificial priest, Samit, spreads the skin and places the limbs of the animal upon it. Cephist 1.1620.19. The overturned cask or leather bottle is a frequent metaphor for a torrent of rain. Cephist 5.830.7. The earth, here, designates the whole world, in contrast with the surface, soil. The Maruts. The Maruts let loose the cloud, that is, the waters. The metaphor may also refer to other things loosed by the Maruts, their own horses or powers, or to the explicit simile, the garments. Magic here in the sense of a miracle rather than an illusion. Asura not in its later sense of demon, but in its early Vedic sense of sky god, cf 18.154.0.1. That is, although there are many rivers and rains, the ocean, though alone, contains them. No one dares to challenge it or to attempt it. Ahriman is the god of formal hospitality to strangers. Mitra the god of intimate friendship among one's own kind. Cf. February 12th, 10 for a sin of which one is unaware. The bonds are both the offenses themselves and the bonds with which Varuna punishes those who offend. Cf. 7.86 and 7.89.
7.86. Varuna provoked to anger.
According to one tradition, this hymn should be read together with 7.55, to which it is joined by a myth. In a dream, or in his sleep, one night the sage Vasistha came to the house of Varuna. As he entered, a dog ran at him, barking and trying to bite him. But Vasistha put him to sleep with several verses, 7.55. Then King Varuna bound Vasistha with his snares, and when Vasistha praised his father Varuna with more verses, 7.86-9, he was released. One text says that Vasistha stole something, perhaps food. an episode that may be alluded to in the reference to Vasistha being like a cattle thief, but it is precisely the unknown and indefinable nature of Vasistha's sin that gives this hymn its power. For the implication of someone else in one's own evil deed, an older brother, or a father, or the forces of wine and anger, or the cloud of sleep, tends to negate any possible sense of remorse. One can regret the results of an unknown act, visible in Varuna's punishment, but not repent of its motives. One may be punished for the sins of other people. In this context, sin may be a misleading word to use, for although the worshipper wishes for expiation, he wishes to be free from sin primarily, in the sense of being free from the effects of sin. He wishes to serve Varun A in order to become free from sin, not to be free from sin in order to serve Varun A. The evil that sleep does not avert may be a bad dream or a deed committed while asleep. This may be the source of the tradition that Vasi St. Hao composed this hymn while wandering in a dream or in his sleep. But in any case, it further highlights the tension between conscious evil, sin, and unconscious evil, for which there is no good term in English. The generations have become wise by the power of him who has propped apart the two world halves, even though they are so vast. He has pushed away the dome of the sky to make it high and wide. He has set the sun on its double journey and spread out the earth. And I ask my own heart, when shall I be close to Varune? Will he enjoy my offering and not be provoked to anger? When shall I see his mercy and rejoice? I ask myself what that transgression was, Varue, for I wish to understand. I turn to the wise to ask them. The poets have told me the very same thing. Varune has been provoked to anger against you. O Varun A, what was the terrible crime for which you wish to destroy your friend who praises you? Proclaim it to me so that I may hasten to prostrate myself before you and be free from sin, for you are hard to deceive and are ruled by yourself alone. Free us from the harmful deeds of our fathers, and from those that we have committed with our own bodies. O King, free Vasistha like a thief who has stolen cattle, like a calf set free from a rope. The mischief was not done by my own free will, Varuna. Wine, anger, dice, or carelessness led me astray. The older shares in the mistake of the younger. Even sleep does not avert evil. As a slave serves a generous master, so would I serve the furious God and be free from sin. The noble God gave understanding to those who did not understand. Being yet wiser, he speeds the clever man to wealth. O Varuna, you who are ruled by yourself alone, let this praise lodge in your very heart. Let it go well for us always with your blessings.
The notes.
The F, February 12th, 10 and 5.850.8.cf, 10.164.creation. Consists in the act here attributed to Varun A, elsewhere to other gods, of propping apart heaven and earth and releasing the sun, either by day in the sky and under the earth by night, or, less likely, its daily and annual revolutions. Varun A binds sinners with his snares of disease and misfortune. The thief is set free after doing expiation for his sin, or, perhaps, in order to be led to his punishment. The elder brother may be implicated in his younger brother's lapse, or he may be the cause of it. Older may also refer to an older generation, the ancestral sin mentioned in the previous verse. The wisdom that Varun A gives to the generations is his own truth. Varun A himself is, yet wiser, either than those to whom he gave understanding, or than the clever man that he aids. Varun A is wise in a spiritual sense. The clever or sharp man is merely worldly wise.
7.88 Varun A, the friend of Vasi St.
After an introductory verse spoken by the poet, Vasistha speaks of his bygone friendship with Varuna, a friendship now threatened by the possibility that Vasistha has committed some offense which he does not know of, and incurred the punishing wrath of Varuna. Vasistha bring a pure and most desirable poem to the bountiful Varune, who draws toward us the great bull who is worthy of sacrifice and thousands of gifts. Now that I have come into his presence, I think the face of Varune is Agni's. Let the Lord on high lead me to the sun that is in the rock for in the darkness, so that I may see the marvel. When we two, Varun A, board the boat and sail forth to the middle of the ocean, When we skim along the crests of the waters, we will swing in the swing and glitter. Varun A set Vasis Tiha right in the boat. The inspired master made him a seer, a poet, by his great powers, so that his days would be good days, so that his skies and dawns would stretch out. Where have those friendships of us two gone, when in the old times we could live together without becoming enemies? I went into your high palace, self-ruling Varun A, into your house with 1,000 doors. If your old friend and dear ally has committed sins against you, Varun A, do not make us who have offended you pay for that. Avenger, inspired one, give protection to the singer of praises. As we dwell in these solid dwelling places, let Varun set us free from the noose, and help us win aid from the lap of a deity. Protect us always with blessings.
The notes.
The sun, brought forth each day by Varun, probably Varun-A's presence, but perhaps that of the sun, Varun-A. The sun tests in the rock of darkness all night. It is, moreover, trapped in the cliff until Indra sets it free, 3.31, a feat also attributed to Varun-A. Varun-A, as god of the waters, has a boat that glitters as it swings. Vastiha's entry into Varun-A's house is alluded to elsewhere in the Rig Veda, CFT 7.89, and the introduction to 7.86.
7.89 The House of Clay.
Varun casts his snares upon the offending worshipper in the form of dropsy, but he satisfies by the grace of his own nature the thirst of the man who suffers from physical or spiritual fever. Thus the waters in verse refer to the feverish thirst and waters of the dropsy, and to the waters of Varun A himself. The concept of unconscious sin is implicit in verse and clearly expressed in verse, which juxtaposes various levels of evil, offense, sin, and violation of the cosmic law, dharma, Varun A's law, the true current of verse. All of these are tempered by the possibility that they were done carelessly, unwittingly, for it is the duty of Varun A himself to make men thoughtful, to make the generations wise, and the duty of the repentant sinner to know his sin. The house of clay is a metaphor for death on various planes. It is the urn used to store the ashes of the dead after cremation, or to store their bones in burial. It is the earth, the house of the dead man, and it is the home of Varun A, to which Vasistha went one night. Let me not go to the house of clay, O King Varun A, not yet. Have mercy, great ruler, be merciful. If I seem to stumble and tremble like a puffed-up goatskin, O master of stones, have mercy, great ruler, be merciful. If through weakness of willpower I have somehow gone against the true current, O pure one, have mercy, great ruler, be merciful. Thirst has come upon the one who sings to you as he stands in the midst of waters. Have mercy, great ruler, be merciful. If we humans have committed some offense against the race of gods, O Varun A, or through cerealessness have violated your laws, do not injure us, O God, for that sin.
The notes.
See 7.860.1.cf, 7.80.5.cf, also N.6 to 7.86.cf. Also N.6 to 7.88, the worshipper is palsied and swollen from dropsy, like a leather wine bottle filled with air, and he trembles in fear of Varun. For stumbling, cf. 8.480.5. This epithet, usually applied to Indra, refers both to the mastery of stones used to press the sum and to stones used as weapons in sling.
2.28 Varun-A.
Let this song to the son of a deity, the poet who rules himself, surpass in greatness all the songs that now exist. The god who is comfortable to sacrifice to, the abundant Varun A, is the one I beg for lasting fame. Let us be happy in your command, having praised you, Varun A, with good intentions, awakening like kindled fires day after day at the approach of the dawns rich in cattle. Let us be under your protection, for you have many heroes, Varun A, our leader, and your word reaches far. You, sons of Aditi, gods who cannot be deceived, consent to join us. The son of Aditi set them free to flow and ordered them. The rivers go by the order of Varuna. They do not tire, nor do they unharness themselves. They fly swiftly like birds in their orbit. Loosen me from sin as from Sash. Let us find the fountainhead of your order, Varuna. Do not let the thread break while I am still weaving this thought, nor let the measuring stick of the workman shatter before its time. Keep fear far away from me, Varune, and hold fast to me, O Emperor of Order. Set me free from anguish as one would free a calf from rope. I cannot bear to live apart from you even for the blink of an eye. Varune, the Asura, do not wound us with your weapons that wound the man you seek when he has committed sin. Let us not be exiled from the light. Loosen clean way from us our failures, so that we may live. O Varun, a born of strength, the home Jetu that was made in the past, long ago we would speak now, and in the time yet to come. Upon you who cannot be deceived our vows are set, unshakable, as if upon mountain. Abolish the debts for the things I have done, O king, and do not make me pay for what has been done by others. So many more dawns have not yet risen, Varune, make sure, that we will live through them. If someone I have met, O king or friend, has spoken of danger to me in a dream to frighten me, or if a thief should waylay us, or wolf, protect us from that, Varna. Do not let me know the loss of dear, generous, open-handed friend, Varna, nor let me lack the wealth that makes good rain, O king. Let us speak great words as men of power in the sacrificial gathering.
Rudra and Vishnu.
Rudra is a liminal figure in the Rig Veda, invoked with Vedic hymns but not invited to partake in the regular Vedic sacrifice. As the embodiment of wildness and unpredictable danger, he is addressed more with the hope of keeping him at bay than with the wish to bring him near, a form of worship that persists in Hinduism, not in the cult of Rudra's successor Siva, but in the cult of the goddess, who does not appear in the Rig Veda at all. Vishnu is a far more typically Vedic god, vaguely solar, benevolent, and procreative, see 7.1.44, often associated with Indra and prayed to jointly with him, but appearing alone in several hymns. The two gods are significant not merely for their roles in the Rig Veda, but for the far more important roles they were destined to play in later sectarian Hinduism.
2.33 Rudra, father of the Maruts.
Though only 3 entire hymns in the Rig Veda are addressed to Rudra, the rich ambivalence of his character is the basis of an important line of Indian theology that culminates in the Hindu god Siva. Rudra is fierce and destructive like a terrible beast, like a wild storm. The sage begs him to turn his malevolence elsewhere. Yet Rudra is not merely demonic, for he is the healer and cooler, as well as the bringer of disease and destructive fever. Father of the Maruts, send your kindness here. Do not cut us off from the sight of the sun. Let the hero spare our horses. O Rudra, let us be born again through our children. By those most healing medicines that you give, Rudra, I would attain 100 winters. Drive hatred far away from us and anguish farther away. Drive diseases away in all directions. Of what is born, you, Rudra, are the most glorious in glory, the strongest of the strong, with the thunderbolt in your hand. Carry us safely to the farther shore of anguish. Ward off all attacks or injury. We would not wish to anger you, Rudra the bull, by acts of homage or ill praise, or by invoking you together with another god. Raise up our heroes with your healing medicines. I hear that of all healers you are the best healer. If someone should call him with invocations and oblations, thinking, I will appease Rudra with songs of praise, may the soft-hearted god who is easy to invoke, the tawny god whose lips are full, may he not suspect us of that, and give us over into the power of his anger. The bull with the merits inspired me with his vital energy when I was in need of help. I long to win the kindness of Rudra as I would long to reach the shade unharmed in the heat of the sun. Where is your merciful hand, Rudra, so healing and cooling, that removes the injury that comes from the gods? Have mercy on me, O bull. I send high praise to the high bull, tawny and white. I bow low in homage to the radiant one. We praise the dreaded name of Rudra. The fierce, tawny god of many forms has adorned his firm limbs with shimmering gold. Never let the Ashura power draw away from Rudra, the ruler of this vast world. Rightly you carry the arrows and bow. Rightly you wear the precious golden necklace shaped with many forms and colors. Rightly you extend this terrible power over everything. There is nothing more powerful than you, Rudra. Praise him, the famous young god who sits on the high seat, the fierce one who attacks like a ferocious wild beast. O Rudra, have mercy on the singer now that you have been praised. Let your armies strike down someone other than us. As a son bows to his father who greets him, so I bow to you, Rudra, as you approach. I sing to the giver of plenty, the true Lord. Being praised, give us healing medicines. Your healing medicines, O Maruts, so pure, so strengthening, so comforting, that our father Manu chose. I desire these, O bulls, and happiness and health from Rudra. Let the weapon of Rudra veer from us. Let the great malevolence of the dreaded god go past us. Loosen the taut bows for the sake of our generous patrons. O bountiful one, have mercy on our children and grandchildren. O tawny and amazing bull, O God, do not become incensed or kill us. Be here for us, Rudra, and hear our call. Let us speak great words as men of power in the sacrificial gathering.
The notes.
This hymn transfers to Rudra several attributes usually associated with Indra, such as the companionship of the Maruts, the thunderbolt, and the bull. This verse may also imply a wish that Rudra will spare the worshipper when he is on horseback. Elsewhere in the Rig Veda 1.140.8, Rudra is asked not to harm horses. For the image of crossing over danger, cf.127.6 and 1.10.6.1, the implication is that the worship may be given in an unsatisfactory way. Many gods are invoked in pairs or groups in the Rig Veda, but never Rudra, who is given offerings separately from all other gods. The worshipper may also fear that he might offend Rudra by pairing him with an inferior god. A vain hope or an optimistic euphemism, like calling the Greek Furies the Eumenides or well-disposed. The adjective, also applied to Indra, particularly indicates that his lips are ready to drink soma. The verse implies that the wrong-minded worshipper might think he could bribe Rudra, and that such a man's thought might provoke Rudra to anger. The poet asks Rudra not to suspect him of such blasphemy. The verse turns upon the multiple meanings of mona: thought, the blasphemy; suspicion, Rudras; and anger, also Rudras. Here, the term Osora still has its connotation of a class of divinities, though its later meaning, demonic, would also be appropriate to Rudra. The power of chaos and darkness, Abvam 1.185, probably the seat on a chariot rather than a throne. This may recall the time of original creation, when Manu, the father of mankind, first kindled the sacrificial fire and offered soma to the gods. Soma may be the source of the healing medicines given to Manu in return for sacrifice. For Rudra and Manu, see Fig 1.140.2.
1.114 Have mercy on us. Rudra.
We bring these thoughts to the mighty Rudra, the god with braided hair, who rules over heroes, so that it will be well with our two-footed and four-footed creatures, and in this village all will flourish unharmed. Have mercy on us, Rudra, and give us life force. We wish to bow low in service to you who rule over heroes. Whatever happiness and health Manu the father won by sacrifice, we wish to gain that with you to lead us forth. We wish to gain your kindness, Rudra, through sacrifice to the gods, for you are generous. O ruler over heroes, come to our families with kindness. Let us offer the oblation to you with our heroes, free from injury. We call down for help the dreaded Rudra, who completes the sacrifice, the sage who flies. Let him repel far from us the anger of the gods. It is his kindness that we choose to have. Tawny boar of the sky, dreaded form with braided hair, we call you down and we bow low. Holding in his hand the healing medicines that we long for, let him grant us protection, shelter, refuge. These words are spoken for Rudra, the father of the Maruts, words sweeter than sweet to strengthen him. And grant us, O immortal, the food for mortals. Have mercy on us, and on our children and grandchildren. Do not slaughter the great one among us, or the small one among us, nor the growing or the grown. Rudra, do not kill our father or our mother, nor harm the bodies dear to us. Do not harm us in our children or grandchildren, nor in our lifespan, nor in our cows or in our horses. Rudra, do not in fury slaughter our heroes. With oblations we call you here forever. I have driven these praises to you as the herdsman drives his cattle. Grant us kindness, Father of the Maruts, for your kindness brings blessings most merciful. and so it is your help that we choose to have. Keep far away from us your cow-killing and man-killing power, O ruler of heroes. Have mercy on us and speak for us, O God, and grant us double protection. Seeking help, we have spoken in homage to him. Let Rudra with the Maruts hear our call. Let Mitra, Varuna, Aditi, Sindhu, earth and sky grant this to us.
The notes.
Rudra's long hair is braided or piled on top of his head in a chignon. As the primeval ancestor of man, Manu performed the first sacrifice by mortals for immortals. See point 3.360.4 and 10.1360.7. Either our own bodies or the bodies of people we love, probably protection from his own wrath, as well as from that of the other gods before whom he is asked to speak on behalf of the worshipper, or from the killing of men and the killing of cattle. A river goddess.
1.154. The three strides of Vishnu.
Vishnu, like Rudra, seems prominent in the Rig Veda only through Hindu hindsight. Though he is often invoked in conjunction with Indra, with whom Rudra also has close ties, he is merely one of several similar gods of a generally solar and beneficial character. This hymn is the basis of the later myth of the dwarf avatar who takes 3 steps to win the world from the demons. Vishnu's 3 space-creating steps prop apart and thereby make the basic 2-part universe, the earthly regions and the upper dwelling place, VV1 or highest footstep, 5-6, the seat of the immortal gods, 5-6, particularly of Vishnu, or of Vishnu with Indra. It is significant that 3 steps are needed to accomplish this split into 2. The paradox becomes strikingly explicit in verse 4, where Vishnu supports the threefold heaven and earth. The mediating third is Vishnu himself, who embodies all creatures. The 3 steps suggest many metaphorical levels. In the solar symbolism, they may be dawn, noon, and sunset, or 3 phases of the year that Vishnu measures apart, VV1 and 3. These steps are called strides, Vikrama VV. 1, 2, and 5, or steps, Pada VV. 3, 6, the latter with many complex connotations that enlarge the metaphor. Its primary meaning is foot, cognate with that word as with Latin pes, pedis. It then designates step, the foot's action, and footprint, the foot's afterimage, as well as stand, or base, in the sense of dwelling place. Later devotional Hinduism makes much of the fact that the lowest part of God is the highest part of the universe. In the final verses, Pada refers both to the actual place where men and gods dwell and the footstep which marks the place, in which the honey fountain springs as water fills the mark made by a cow's hoof. Let me now sing the heroic deeds of Vishnu, who has measured apart the realms of earth, who propped up the upper dwelling place, striding far as he stepped forth 3 times. They praise for his heroic deeds Vishnu, who lurks in the mountains, wandering like a ferocious wild beast, in whose 3 wide strides all creatures dwell. Let this song of inspiration go forth to Vishnu, the wide-striding bull who lives in the mountains, who alone with but 3 steps measured apart this long, far-reaching dwelling place. His 3 footprints, inexhaustibly full of honey, rejoice in the sacrificial drink. Alone he supports threefold the earth and the sky, all creatures. Would that I might reach his dear place of refuge, where men who love the gods rejoice. For there one draws close to the wide-striding Vishnu. There, in his highest footstep, is the fountain of honey. We wish to go to your dwelling places, where there are untiring, many-horned cattle. There the highest footstep of the wide-stepping bull shines brightly down.
The notes.
Cf. The various uses of pada in 1.164.cf 1.320.1, which begins with the same phrase. The verb scamb is related to the noun for pillar, the axis mundi that props heaven apart so that creation may take place. This pillar is also a measuring stick for Vishnu. Elsewhere, this act is attributed to Varun, A. 5.850.5, who measures out the earth with the sun as with a measure. The commentator suggests that this is a lion. This seems more likely, in view of the sinister characteristics attributed to Vishnu here, than to interpret it as a reference to the bull who is about to appear, pages 3 and 6. Indeed, as bulls do not usually live in mountains, this may merely be an instance of the use of the word vrs to denote any male full of seed, in this case a wild beast, as the Vedic gods are often said to be wild beasts. This may refer to the entire triple world or to the earth as opposed to the upper dwelling place. The verb can be transitive or intransitive, to be or to make someone else happy or drunk. Here, both meanings seem appropriate. The honey in the footprints acts like soma, intoxicating the creatures who dwell there, the men who love the god, specified in the next verse. The honey is in all three of his footsteps, VV, though the highest is the fountain of the nectar of immortality, VV. The pronoun in the dual refers to both Indra and Vishnu. Here, as elsewhere, the cattle may simply symbolize cattle, and by extension the riches of life, or something more. The commentator identifies them as rays of light, extensions of Vishnu as the sun. They may be stars. As cattle, they are untiring, as rays unfading. Many-horned would mean something like twinkling for stars or widely diffused for sunbeams. D. Point 1630.11. First, rays, the cattle who abound in heaven. For noted lithiumite pink paint.
Relaya.
The Rig Veda is a sacred book, but it is a very worldly sacred book. Nowhere can we find the tiniest suspicion of a wish to renounce the material world in favor of some spiritual quest. Religion is the handmaiden of worldly life. The gods are invoked to give the worshipper the things he wants: health, wealth, long life, and progeny. This is not to say that there is anything superficial about Vedic religious concerns, but merely that these meditations stem from a life-affirming, joyous celebration of human existence. Almost every hymn in the Rig Veda expresses at some point a wish for the good things in life, but some are primarily devoted to a celebration of these things, with relatively little attention to the gods who are supposed to provide them. And in others, such worldly concerns eclipse what leaven of theistic devotion remains in them. Several of these hymns are devoted to the waters, the fluid element or Dionysian element that looms so large throughout the Rig Veda. The waters give renewal of life, 10.9, and are invoked as goddesses, 7.49. Water is at the heart of another hymn that combines the profane appreciation of the rains with a satirical fondness for priests, 7.13. The sacrificial arena also provides the setting for another paean to the things that make life worth living, 9.112. It thus becomes evident that, rather than characterizing the ritual world of the Rig Veda as worldly, one might do better to characterize the non-ritual Vedic world as sacred. Religion extends out into every aspect of life, not merely the official religious moments. Thus, blessings are sought for the warrior's arms, 6.75, and for the gambler's wish to break away from his compulsion, 10.34, as well as for the benighted traveler in the forest, 10.146.
10.9. The waters of life.
Waters, you are the ones who bring us the life force. Help us to find nourishment so that we may look upon great joy. Let us share in the most delicious sap that you have, as if you were loving mothers. Let us go straight to the house of the one for whom you waters give us life and give us birth. For our well-being, let the goddesses be an aid to us, the waters be for us to drink. Let them cause well-being and health to flow over us. Mistresses of all the things that are chosen, rulers over all peoples, the waters are the ones I beg for a cure. Soma has told me that within the waters are all cures, and Agni who is salutary to all. Waters, yield your cure as an armor for my body, so that I may see the sun for a long time. Waters, carry far away all of this that has gone bad in me, either what I have done in malicious deceit, or whatever lie I have sworn to. I have sought the waters today. We have joined with their sap. O Agni, full of moisture, come and flood me with splendor.
The notes.
That is, as mothers give milk to their children, the traveling singer asks to be sent to a house whose owner has been blessed, so that by sacrificing for him, the singer may be renewed. Agni within the waters is a common theme to which the hymn returns in the final verse. F 10.5-1
7.49 The waters, who are goddesses.
They who have the ocean as their eldest flow out of the sea, purifying themselves, never resting. Indra, the bull with the thunderbolt, opened a way for them. Let the waters, who are goddesses, help me here and now. The waters of the sky, or those that flow, those that are dug out, or those that arise by themselves, those pure and clear waters that seek the ocean as their goal, let the waters, who are goddesses, help me here and now. Those in whose midst King Varuna moves, looking down upon the truth and falsehood of people, those pure and clear waters that drip honey, let the waters, who are goddesses, help me here and now. Those among whom King Varuna and Soma and all the gods drink in ecstasy the exhilarating nourishment, those into whom Agni of all men entered, let the waters, who are goddesses, help me here and now.
The notes.
A reference to the cosmic ocean that is their source, in contrast with the earthly ocean that is their resting point. Indra opened a way for the waters when he killed Vritra, cf.1.320.1. That is, those that flow on earth, in contrast with the reservoirs of the sky. Varun A is god of the waters and moves through the heavenly waters, cf.1.5.
723 The frogs.
This unusual hymn moves on two parallel but sharply contrasting levels. As a naturalistic poem, it describes the frogs who are rejuvenated when the season of rains comes. As a sacerdotal hymn, it describes the Brahmins who begin to the voice, a sacred and creative force throughout the Rig Veda, which is, of course, a book of songs. For years, scholars have argued about whether or not the comparison is meant to satirize the Brahmins, a possibility probably first suggested by the analog with Aristophanes. But although the mood of the hymn is indeed cheerful, it is unlikely that the Rig Veda would contain material in actual criticism of priests in general. On the other hand, it may well be satirizing some priests, as for example the priests on the other side of the agonistic sacrifice. What makes the poem a tour de force is that every verse applies simultaneously to both frogs and Brahmins, a most elaborate and playful pun. After lying still for a year, Brahmins keeping their vow, the frogs have raised their voice that Parjanya has inspired. When the heavenly waters came upon him dried out like a leather bag, lying in the pool, then the cries of the frogs joined in chorus like the lowing of cows with calves. As soon as the season of rains has come, and it rains upon them who are longing, thirsting for it, one approaches another who calls to him, Ach Kala, as a son approaches his father. One of the two greets the other as they revel in the waters that burst forth, and the frog leaps about under the falling rain, the speckled mingling his voice with the green. When one of them repeats the speech of the other, as a pupil that of the teacher, every piece of them is in unison, as with fine voices you chant over the waters. One lows like a cow, one bleats like a goat, one is speckled, one is green. They have the same name, but they differ in form, and as they speak, they ornament their voices in many ways. Like Brahmins at the overnight sacrifice, who speak around the full bowl of Soma, so you frogs around a pool celebrate the day of the year when the rains come. Brahmins with Soma raise their voice, offering the prayer for the beginning of the year. The officiating priests come forth heated and sweating. None remain hidden. They have kept the order of the 12-month as ordained by the gods. These men do not neglect the season. When the season of rains has come, after a year, the hot fires come to an end. He who lows like a cow has given. He who bleats like a goat has given. The speckled one, the green one, has given us riches. By giving hundreds of cows, the frogs have prolonged life in 1,000 Soma pressings.